Coming up on this edition of NICB News, we head to Houston and tell you about one man's disaster of buying a used truck, one that was in a natural disaster. Plus, we head down to Florida to report on the latest scam in online sales, as a Daytona Beach man purchases a truck with a fake VIN number. Also, we head to Norfolk and check in on the Southeast International Association of Auto Theft Investigators Conference, as well as the Vehicle Finance Fraud Conference in Chicago. That's all next on NICB News. Hello and welcome to another edition of NICB News. I'm Roger Morris. A young man who bought a pickup truck in Houston is now warning buyers to follow the advice of the National Insurance Crime Bureau before closing a deal on a used vehicle. Kenton Bassinger was in the market for a used pickup truck to help him in his contractor business. But the Houston man did the one thing that NICB has been warning people not to do after hundreds of thousands of vehicles were flooded during Hurricanes Harvey and Irma last year. He plopped down $14,000 for this 2012 Chevy Silverado and didn't bother to have it checked out by a mechanic first.
I thought I was getting an excellent deal. I think I paid $14,000 total, including tax, and then the sticker price on the vehicle I found out later would be about $18,000.
The truck had a clean title showing no indication of flood damage, but our research showed the truck was originally from Florida and appears to have been on a dealer's lot there when Hurricane Irma hit. A few months later, it ended up sold at auction to a Houston dealership with the new Texas title. The truck was not insured at the time of Irma, so there was no claim filed for a flood loss, and because it was not insured, there was no record of flood damage in NICB's free VIN check database. A few days after Kenton bought it, problems started to show up.
The seat rails were rusted. I couldn't even move my seat forward or backward, and then there was dirt under the floorboards. And that's what I noticed right away. And it was sand, it wasn't just like dirt off the ground, you know. And then the check engine light came on a little bit later, and so those were the initial issues that I found with it.
Had he taken our advice and brought the truck here to a professional auto mechanic before he paid for it, he would have found out something he didn't want to hear, and he would have saved himself a lot of headaches. Kenton had a mechanic look at the truck, and he said the truck appeared to have been flooded. So he contacted a local TV station to see if they could help him, and KPRC investigative reporter Mario Diaz contacted us. We traveled to Houston to meet with the station and with Kenton. We immediately saw signs of damage: water under the front carpeting, rust on the metal parts of the seats, sand under the trim, and sand and debris under the bed liner. As an independent mechanic checked it out, we spotted another sign. The undercarriage had been spray painted to cover the rust.
The telltale signs are there. Water intrusion, rust, cover up, spray paint. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
And when he did a diagnostics test on the truck's computer, an even more alarming discovery. The airbag modules were showing an error code, meaning they might not deploy in a crash. Besides being out the $14,000, Kenton hired a lawyer, and they're working with the dealership to reach a settlement on taking the truck back. His advice to others in the market for a used vehicle: take NICB's advice and have it checked out first before you put down the cash.
Definitely take your car to get it inspected beforehand. I can't even recommend that enough now, because I kind of did my own visual inspection before I bought it and listened to the sounds that the car would make and things like that, but to leave it to the professionals to do the work.
Speaking of potential scams, working with law enforcement officials in Daytona Beach, Florida, NICB has identified a string of online sales of vehicles using the mobile app OfferUp. These vehicles are listed below market value and are being sold with fake VIN numbers and/or phony titles. Brian Dreifout has the story.
It's a growing scam in Central Florida, and many of its residents are unaware of it. 22-year-old Anthony Caligari was searching for a new truck as part of a college graduation and birthday present to himself.
After seeing a listing for a Ford F-150 on the app OfferUp, Caligari contacted the seller and agreed to purchase the vehicle at this gas station. He had $20,000 in hand.
We test drove the vehicle, ran perfect, no exterior issues, some scratches, dents, some issues here and there. Showed me the title. Title seemed perfectly clear. VIN came back clean after I checked up the VIN, and at that point I purchased the vehicle.
However, a few hours later, he began to question the validity of the sale.
Went to the DMV, they told me the title was fake, At that point, I tried to contact the guy. He disconnected the phone already.
After contacting the Daytona Beach Police Department, a detective and an NICB agent came out to inspect the truck. While inspecting the vehicle identification number, it was revealed that the VIN was from another Ford F-150 at a car dealership, 2,800 miles away in Sunnyvale, California. Authorities were given permission by the insurance company to break the windshield and remove the VIN plate on the dashboard. They discovered at least 3 other fake VIN plates glued over the original plate. A quick search using NICB's VIN check revealed that this truck was stolen in February in Yulee, Florida, and reported as a total loss by the insurance company.
We're assuming that he may have offered this vehicle numerous times to different people for sale with these different VIN numbers. We get a lot of them here in Florida, unfortunately. A lot of our thefts that have been cloned or been re-tagged with fraudulent VIN numbers. A
Milwaukee Tick, a GPS tracker, was also found in the glove box. And that's when investigators began to notice a bigger scam.
The suspect is using this Milwaukee Tick to track the vehicle after it's sold, and then possibly steal the vehicle back, re-VIN it again, put it back on OfferUp again or any other website, and sell it again for another $20,000, and then continually to do that.
Since the original VIN showed up as a stolen vehicle, the truck was taken into possession by the police, leaving Anthony out of his dream vehicle, as well as $20,000.
In the process, I think there's only one step I missed, and that was going to the DMV with that exact person that's selling me the car.
The victims need to do maybe a little bit more due diligence. See how much the vehicles are going for online. They can contact us at NICB. We would rather get involved on the front end of the investigations than on the back end.
From Daytona Beach, Florida, I'm Brian Dreifhout for the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
The NICB's 2017 Watercraft theft report shows a 5% decrease and resumes the downward trend in thefts that was broken by 2016's slight increase. A total of 4,864 watercraft were reported stolen last year. Once again, Florida takes the top spot, followed by California, Texas, North Carolina, and Washington. Motorcycle thefts also showed a decline in 2017, falling 5% from the previous year's numbers. After several years of consecutive declines, motorcycle thefts actually increased in 2015 and 2016. However, last year's results may signal a resumption of the downward trend. The top 5 states with the most reported motorcycle thefts: North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Florida, and California taking the top spot. At a recent meeting of the Southeast International Association of Auto Theft Investigators held in Norfolk, Virginia, NICB was asked to demonstrate how thieves may be using modern hacking tools to break into and steal vehicles. Using the relay attack device that we first alerted the public to over a year ago, we showed law enforcement officers how quickly thieves can not only unlock, but also start and drive off with several different models, including 2 that audience members offered up to see if they were vulnerable to the device. They were. NICB personnel work with organizations like IAATI and its law enforcement members on a daily basis. One recent example involved a request by police in the Rochester, New York suburb of Irondequoit for help from one of our agents in identifying a car that was involved in a hit-and-run accident that resulted in the death of a 35-year-old female pedestrian. Using data from NICB's extensive vehicle information resources, the agent was able to track down the make and model of the alleged suspect vehicle based on a paint sample found at the scene. He then narrowed the list of that particular make and model to vehicles in the area of the incident, and police were able to identify a 25-year-old suspect who was arrested and has since been indicted by the Monroe County Grand Jury on charges of second-degree vehicular manslaughter, operating a motor vehicle while impaired resulting in death, leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death, and tampering with physical evidence. In May, NICB and Ally Financial hosted the 2018 Vehicle Finance Fraud Conference to provide current trends and information in the field of investigating financial vehicle fraud, including auto fraud scams, titling fraud, as well as illegal exports of vehicles overseas. That's it for this edition of NICB News. We'll have another quarterly update for you in the fall. But remember, you can always keep up to date with what's going on in the world of insurance fraud by logging onto our website at www.nicb.org or checking out our social media sites. I'm Roger Morris. Thanks for watching.